I couldn't believe what I saw last Friday. Well, I'm sorry, I will say it. Big signs,
Yeah.
fuck Trudeau.
Yeah.
And little kids.
I know.
What's going on here?
I think, a lot of people question, why the election? Why are we having it now? And there's a lot of reasons. I talk about stability, I talk about the breakdown in Parliament. But what that really translates to is that the divisiveness in our communities is reaching a boiling point where we're seeing things like that, where people will direct such anger and hatred towards elected officials and have these judgments on who they are without considering them as human beings. It's mirroring what we saw in the United States. We don't want that here. We live in Canada. We are proudly distinct from our southern neighbors. And so I think this is what this election's about. What kind of country do we want? And I don't want a country where little kids feel like giving the finger to their leader.
I couldn't believe it. I mean, I just couldn't believe it. And I said, Trudeau's going to win with a majority because of that. Because Canadians are going to say, hey, we don't want this bullshit. No. I mean, this is...
The alternative is scary. It is.
It is. And really, the Conservative hasn't said much about it. Mm-hmm. Okay, they denounced it once, just to be nice. But, how you doing? Pretty bad when security wave at you and say a first name basic. Hey, no, that's not good. This is the calm before the storm. Get ready. Look at the sharpshooters around. DOG, do your job. No, but it's very, I've never seen anything like that in my life. And it's very, very scary.
Yeah, it is scary.
So how come you didn't choose the PC party or the NDP?
Well, I mean, I just feel like my values align a lot with the Liberal Party. It's not a stretch from the Greens. It's just that the Greens are more about urgency and faster action, which so am I. So I feel like if I can go in and work with government, I can push those timelines. I can be that strong voice that we want. I tried. I did everything I said I was going to do in 2019 over the last 2 years. But I want to deliver. I need to be an effective representative because there's no time to waste. The pandemic taught us that. Urgency is there. This world can change on a dime, and we need to be prepared for it.
I'm not kissing ass there, but I just call it as I see it. I felt bad for you because I seen you at protests in front of the legislator. I seen you at events. You never been in no events for a year and a half, and it's not your fault.
Yeah. It's a little tough during a pandemic.
Yeah, there's no events going.
We had lots of virtual events.
Yeah, but like Facebook, oh, hello, I'm still here. And then suddenly you leave the party, then all the media are showing up. Where are you people? Where have you people been for a year and a half? But what I'm saying is, you didn't have a fair chance to really... Like Matt DeCourcy, the one that you met, that had a big sign, come and meet Matt DeCourcy, smiling. But he wasn't in no Officer Square. You were supporting, you didn't support Officer Square the way things were going.
Oh, yeah.
And Matt DeCourcy never said a word. But you never had the chance for a year and a half to really do nothing.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what? In the same vein, I'm really proud of some of the accomplishments that we were able to achieve. Being part of key legislation. So my experience in Parliament, even though it was in COVID, I'm so thankful, and it's changed my life. It's been such an honor. I point to things like Bill C3, which is a bill to ensure that judges have proper training when dealing with sexual assault cases. But I put forward an amendment that was enshrining Indigenous leadership in the development of that curriculum up front, because it addresses missing and murdered Indigenous women and how obviously Indigenous women are far more vulnerable to, I think they're 4 or 5 times more likely to be needed with that kind of violence in their life. So that's a success. And that was as an independent member is what we're called because we're not officially recognized. I wasn't an official committee member, but I was able to be a loud enough voice to have an amendment passed into Canadian law. So I'm so proud of that. Many times, I think my first time speaking in Parliament, it was December 6th. This was before the pandemic started. I got to speak on École Polytechnique on women's rights, on the misogyny in our community. So and that's just something I go back to, just how that moment made me feel, that, it is important that Fredericton has a strong voice. And I was able to do that despite pandemic, despite being in a fifth party position. But at the end of the day, we need far more than that. There's so many issues: healthcare, the environment, Indigenous reconciliation. There's no time to waste.
Is it okay? I'm Mark Graves. Natives, okay, natives issue. By the way, you don't have no native blood. Zero native blood.
I'm
Zero.
Irish and Scottish.
Irish, and I'm half Scottish. Oh yeah, that's right. The mother, yeah, that's right. And the father, we forgot that. Remember the first time when you told me? I go, what? But the isn't it overkill? All we hear on the CBC is native immigrants, natives immigrants. Now, there's some good stories there, but people say, okay, enough already. And it could be a good story that we're missing, but isn't it going a little bit overkill that people will ignore the issue? You know what I mean?
I don't think so. I think we need that constant reminder because we've forgotten for so long about these atrocities. You know, they're 1996 Royal Commission. We already learned about all of these things. Truth and Reconciliation Commission, we were told there would be unmarked graves that need to be investigated, and we just let it slip. So now that it's up front in people's faces,
always up front of it. Oh my God, you can't be more up front the way it is.
It's necessary. And same with a newcomer community. We in the Atlantic, without that conversation happening, we're in trouble. So I'm proud to see it in the media over and over again. And if people are getting tired of it, maybe it's time for some action.
Okay, people were sick and tired of me too a few years ago, and it was always Charles LeBlanc. I was getting sick of Charles LeBlanc. Now you don't see them around, but if I cross the line or join a certain party, oh yeah, they'll come back.
Yeah.
Okay, focus, Charles. Listen, yesterday was, what was it? The drugs overdose day?
Oh, International Overdose Awareness Day.
What our motto, I don't know if we got the problem on Motto First Nation, we got the problem in our motto, we got the problem in Fredericton, crystal meth.
Yeah.
What are we as an MP for this riding that's going to be there for 4 years? What are you going to do about the issue of crystal meth?
Yeah, it's such an important question. I hope that more people are talking about this as well. Safe consumption sites is a big piece of that. You know, it's opioids, but it's also that's where people are going is crystal meth because
then you get that, then they all hang around there.
We need wraparound services, which are being deployed. There's so many people, organizations, not-for-profits that are finally working together that we're making some progress here. And the goal is, a saved life is the first piece. We need people to stop dying from opioid overdoses. Then we can look into what other services they need. Peer support is really working well to really pull people out with that life experience.
They just stole a car from the Visual Meat Market. I mean, there's all crystal meth all around. Now, what I'm saying is...
There's trauma in our communities. That's the other piece.
Trauma.
People have
you got your hair, you got trauma. I'm Scottish, I got trauma. Yeah. I got a quick temper, I mean, we all got trauma. We don't just jump on crystal meth.
No, but you know what? So, for example, sexual abuse in our communities is rampant, and we don't talk about it. And if you've grown up with that experience, many people are going to turn to drugs and substance abuse because it's a horrific thing to have gone through without the proper services in place. So there's mental health issues that have gone unaddressed. All of these things play into what we're experiencing in our communities with methamphetamine and opioid crisis. So it's a big issue. It's a big mountain to climb. But the key is to decriminalize, to show people that this is a health issue, to welcome people with open arms and treat them like human beings. And that's really what I hope to bring as a member of parliament. And
you could bring a horse of water.
Yeah. But if you show them what's possible, they'll drink that water.
You sure? Hey, that's good. Hey, that's good. If you show them it's possible, they'll drink that water. I
believe that, and I truly believe that. I've seen it. I've seen people come off
crystal meth.
Yes, there's some lasting impacts, but
what do they do?
Can be okay. What do you mean?
I mean, okay. Like I asked a cop, how do you tell the kids not to do crystal meth? They say, well, try cocaine twice, whatever. Crystal meth, you only do it once, and you're hooked.
Yeah. Well, so that's that education piece too.
Yeah.
And my background in education, I took a ton of youth and drugs training courses to have those important conversations with youth, because most kids don't know what they're putting into their bodies, and they've got influences around them that say, hey, we do
this
it,
is cool.
No big deal, try it, and then as you said, one time.
How come they can't be like me, a drunk? I mean, this is...
Alcohol has its damage too in our community.
I'm a good drunk. I mean, I don't drink 7 days a week. But I mean, what we used to have, people complaining. I remember George Pierce?
Yeah.
The soup kitchen? The guy that ran the soup kitchen, George Pierce?
Okay.
And he